Hello and welcome back to Void Dreaming. We will finish up the update with basically the remainder of their D&D campaign. Or not the campaign, the session, because the campaign talks about the whole thing and this is just a session. So, Rail decided to join them in the middle of a hunt for an assassin? Yeah, it was an assassin. Who allegedly was about to take out, or was trying to take out, the person that contracted them. I've already forgot the word, what it was. Their patron? I think that's what the name is. Basically, they have to take out this guy and the people that are allied with them. And we managed to sneak into the hideout. We did all the sneaking. We went into the bar and we sneaked around, got the keys, some letter. Then we sneaked into the hideout, didn't kill anyone. And then we are on our way into the main area where presumably the assassin is, but they decided to take a break. So yeah. Miz is basically playing a line who is basically himself. Zuberi is also playing a character who's basically himself. And Tolmany is playing a character who is completely different from themselves. But we'll talk about that a little later. And of course, Zuberi. Bronca is playing the Dungeon Master. And Rail is playing the assassin, because that's what I picked. So yeah. Anywho, so I guess we'll just dive into it and see how their their session ends. You look up with confusion as Zuberi, Miz, and Telmany stand up. The latter makes her way over to the interface chair while the former two stretch and smile as they disconnect their MMIs.
What's going on?
Taking a short break, just enough to give people a chance to rest, process everything that's happened, and take a moment before we continue on. I try to do it in the middle of every session of Alvari we play.
I can see why. This is a lot more than I thought it would be.
Thanks, I put a lot of work into it.
It shows.
And we're all quite grateful, as we always say.
You turn to Miz as he pats Bronca's shoulder, before turning and wandering off. Zuberi's already leaning up against the far wall, eyes closed.
Are you alright?
You turn back to the bear and nod.
Yeah, I just don't really know what I should do now. Well, you could always just relax for a bit, get your thoughts straight. But if you wanted to talk more about the game, I'm sure the others wouldn't mind talking about their characters and game experience, if you wanted to ask, that is.
That's an idea. The company might not be so bad. I'm gonna ask Bromka. You've got to admit, you're curious about Bromka and his role with the game. You make your way over to him as he looks down at the holoprojector controls.
Something I can help you with? You don't need a rest?
I mean, sure, but I more wanted to just talk about what this is all like for you. Bromka chuckles as he glances briefly down at you before turning his attention once more to the projector.
It's hard work.
Wait, really?
You're surprised?
You're about to tell him that it's just a game, but pause. He built your character, all 3 versions of him no less, just on the off chance that you joined the game night. That doesn't even cover all the work that he's clearly put into all the other characters. I guess not. I imagine it's a lot.
It is. There's so much that goes into this, you know. Many things that I need to balance all at once. I've got to craft the world, the characters in it, their motivations and dreams and goals.
Their evils.
They're evils too, yes. But don't expect you can sneak any details out of me now, Rail. Such things are for your characters to discover in time.
You smirk and nod.
But you're right. It's a lot. And being responsible for all of the world and the game experience for my players is taxing. It's true.
So why not just be a player yourself? Why be the goddess? He leans back for a moment, contemplating the question with a smile.
I like seeing the way my players react. Seeing them smile, hearing them laugh or gasp or cry out. It's incredibly satisfying to know that I've enthralled them. It's as close to real magic as it comes.
I didn't know that you had such a creative hobby.
I think everyone should have one. Some form of creative outlet is good for once in the flame. Nase? You chuckle and nod. Maybe he's right. If nothing else, you're doing a great job. Bromka grins all the wider at that and bows his head. That means so much to hear, especially from you, on your first time joining us, truly. But as much as I would enjoy speaking of such things at length, I must prepare for when we return to the game. Right, lots of work. That it is, but worth it. You chuckle, nodding to the bear as you step away. He definitely needs a chance to focus now. Maybe you could just relax for a moment, or talk to one of the others. Talmody, because she's my technically partner in this. Now that you're paying better attention to her, you can see that Talmony isn't actually jacked into the interface chair. She's just sitting in it, and you make your way over. Her head does turn at the sound of your approach, and she sits up and turns to face you.
Rael.
Talmony, how are you doing?
Well, thank you. Game night is a pleasant distraction, and perhaps surprisingly to hear, it is most restful.
You blink. That's definitely not what you would have thought. You're right, that is surprising.
Ordinarily, I require ample time within my environment in order to stabilize my thoughts and regulate my sense of self. Oliveri allows me to separate myself from my character. When I am portraying Neve, I offload her to an aspect of myself.
To an aspect?
Yes, I can tell you are confused. You need not be. My mind, through my depth of augmentation, struggles to achieve rest. Aspects of my consciousness may be split, allowing my core consciousness to carry a lesser burden.
And you let Neve be controlled by different aspects? And that's why she sounds so much more,
Natural?
You wince, but nod. That's one way to put it.
Indeed. Neve allows for my fractured self to explore a more willful persona, absent the control that I exert over my conscious self. She is a cad, a rogue, inclined to her instincts rather than reasoned facts. She is wild and emotional, for better and for worse. I find her a stimulating extrapolation of a part of my psyche, just as I find Valron and Eli to be a stimulating extrapolation of Zuberi and Miz respectively.
I hadn't really thought about it that way, of the characters really being a part of you. She flashes that slight little smile that you've come to associate with her.
I believe that it would be impossible for any creator of a story to not imbue their creation with some aspect of themselves. I simply do so in a more literal manner. Valron is a simple character who values simple solutions. He represents the part of the captain's psyche that would prefer a life uncluttered by complexity. Ilasan Rael represents the fear that Miz holds, a male smug and self-assured, with all the power that he could ever want, and only selfish whims to direct it.
You nod slowly. She's definitely given this a lot of thought. And me?
You have not had Patras long enough to define him in any meaningful way. Such a thing will take time and investment on your part.
She leans in a little closer, peering at you with those glowing eyes. The sensation isn't entirely pleasant.
But if I were to guess, I might expect that he would strain for freedom, for the right to determine his own fate. I expect that you wish to explore decisiveness, that perhaps if you had been more decisive, you could not find yourself in such a place as you are now.
You think that I'd want to be a cold, ruthless killer?
I think that the decisiveness represented by it is an intriguing insight into your sense of self, that if you had perhaps been more decisive, you would not be here now.
You blink, frowning as you nod to yourself. You'd be lying if you said that you couldn't see the connection, now that she's pointed it out. You might have something there.
Or I might not. For some people, it is all about what is most fun. There is little more to it than that. But for others, it is interesting to speculate.
And it looks like you love to speculate. She nods.
Less so for my fellow players. More for the characters that we encounter that Bromka defines.
And what do you get from Bromka? The otter tilts her head.
Clarify.
I mean, if you got Ms. and Zuberi and I figured out, what do you make of Bromka? That causes her to fall silent. The glow of her eyes dims slightly as she turns to regard the bear, still on the couch.
That his ideal joy is the joy given to others. No matter the cost to himself, for better or for worse. You disagree?
You know, I don't think I do.
Indeed.
You nod to her, but the sound of clapping paws draws your attention back towards a couch. All right, everyone, let's get back to it, if you're all ready. Tomini nods and offers you her paw as Zuberi and Miz start to head back over to the couch. You take it and help her up.
Thank you. Are you prepared to resume?
I am. After you. The otter bows her head as she releases your paw, brushing past you to make for the couch as you follow along. Time to get back to it, indeed. In a few moments, you and your fellow players are all seated on the couch again. Bromka is smiling at you all as you hook up your MMIs again. Alright, everyone's ready? Yep. Sure. Absolutely.
I am.
That's exactly what I wanted to hear. So, where were we? The Taratales in the hideout don't seem to have noticed you sneaking past them into the crystalline passage.
They do not seem to have noticed. That does not mean that they have not noticed.
That's right. The passage itself glitters, lit by some unknown source that bathes you in a rippling spectrum of light. There are no shadows, you note as you make your way down the tunnel.
Odd.
Magic, no doubt. That's your answer for everything. And how often am I wrong? The captain shrugs and chuckles. At the end of the passageway, the crystalline gives way to a beautiful smooth surface that covers the walls, floors, and ceiling. It melts into an archway through which you can see a tall stone altar. A cloaked figure, the one that you've been chasing, three of you realize, is knelt deep before the altar with his back to you. If he knows you're here, he's giving no sign of it. There is silence as the various players look among themselves. How would you like to proceed? Sneaky. Maybe we can take a quick kill. Stick a knife in before he can get going. Zuberi, Miz, Tomini, and even Bromka all turn to you with surprise. What? I'm just surprised. It's quite the brutal option. I usually advocate for more aggressive options, but I've tried to behave myself today. Valron's grateful for your restraint.
Such as it is.
If we do that, we still have the Taratales to deal with. I bet they'll attack us if we go after their leader, and it'd be hard to take him out quietly while they watch.
Most likely, but we would have to engage them otherwise. If we are able to dispatch him quickly, he will be unable to aid them in the fight to come.
The numbers aren't on our side as we would like, but I fancy our chances. The cheetah beams as Bromka looks at you, and suddenly you worry that you've made the wrong choice. Can you make the wrong choice in a game like this? Am I doing this wrong? No, not at all. I just think that a quick dispatch gives us a chance to close out their hunt nice and fast. Well, it's not as though you've all been bloodless so far. What's a little more? Normally I'd have to make that argument, and here you're doing it for me. I think I will have to bribe Rail to continue to come to these game nights. Careful, my rates are steep. I'm sure that I have something of value with which to convince you. Probably not. Good game nights are at their own reward. You chuckle and shake your head. So, this is the course of action, sneaking in for a killing blow? You look around at everyone and nod. If we can approach quietly, we might be able to get a good hit in, take him out quietly. That would ensure that the Taratales we sneak past don't hear the scuffle and come running. That'd be ideal, yeah.
I am also agreed. If nothing else, this is a task that Neve is well suited for. Patras even more so. Together, I do not doubt our ability to complete this task. It is a fair plan.
Very well then. How are you going about this? You look around to the others, but they're all looking at you in turn. It's like you've chosen this course for them, and now they want you to define it. Maybe you should have kept your muzzle shut. Well, there's no rats here, so there's that going for us. Not right here.
Zuberi is right. If we are noisy, it may involve the wrath of the Terratales that we evaded earlier.
So what then is the plan? You tap your chin and nod. If Eli and Valron can distract the assassin long enough, maybe talk with him, then maybe Neve and Patras can get into position to strike together.
This plan carries a risk. If we are unable to effectively eliminate the assassin, then any combat may bring further trouble down upon us.
It may. It does sound to me like the most effective way forward, assuming all goes well. When does everything go well for us? Shut up. Zuberi laughs, but the cheetah shakes his head. Well, I guess that's the play then. You nod as Branka eyes you. Good then. Normally I'd ask how the four of you are coordinating this hopefully surprise attack, but since this is Rail's first time, I'll let it slide. Miss chuckles as you nod and smile at the bear. Thank you, Brahm. Most generous, goddess. Very well. The four of you continue to make your way up towards the assassin at the altar. You see numbers rolling across the field of view for both yourself and Neve, and they both come up blue. As far as Patras and Neve are concerned, you are moving quietly and stealthily around the edges of the sanctum. And Eli and Valron straight up towards him to avoid drawing his attention elsewhere? If you say so. Miz nods and taps his chest a couple of times before slipping back into Eli's exaggerated voice. Pardon, sir. Might we have a word? You see the figure's head tilt, and he slowly stands from where he's knelt down. He turns around towards you, and you catch the face of the Mimic, the otter you've been chasing all night. Finally. You don't quit. You know, my mother said much the same. She told me that it was an admirable trait. She was right. You watch him toss his hood back, and he frowns as he looks between the two of you. Where's your friend? Uh-oh.
Where indeed are we?
You and Patras are roughly halfway around the room by this point. Moving faster would let you cover more ground, but he may spot you. I'll keep moving carefully, even if it's slower.
As will I.
Alright, his eyes are locked on Eli, as if waiting for an answer. We split up while chasing you down. I'm sure that we'll meet up again later. You watch his muzzle twist with amusement. You may wish to have brought her with you, unwise to separate in the pursuit of such lively prey. Perhaps, but perhaps it need not come to blows. You hunt me down, infiltrate my hideout, barge into my inner sanctum, and speak now of diplomacy? Your manners are awful. And yours are excellent, more than I would have expected from an assassin. Perhaps you ought to adjust your expectations. Not everyone who opposes Yovons does so out of lack of intellect, or a simple misunderstanding of the law. Neve, you and Patras are beginning to move in from the walls. You're behind them now, and closing in. Perhaps you could educate us. If we are in the wrong, we would hear it. If only I could do that. And why can't you? From within his coat he draws a pair of wicked curved daggers, squeezing their hilt in a reverse grip as he lowers his head to glare at Valron. Because you are deceiving me.
What of us?
I was just getting to that. Bromka chuckles and you can see that Zuberi and Miz both have tensed up. The otter turns to the side. It seems that he has just barely noticed Neve approaching. His blade cuts up towards you, but the attempt strikes only wards you back for a moment. And Petrus? It's clear to strike. He does. Once more the numbers roll across your field of vision, flashing first blue and then a brilliant gold. Burn it, yeah. The cheetah is punching in the air as Bromka grins at you. With the assassin so thoroughly distracted, you have absolutely no trouble sliding up behind him. Your knife is lodged with a single precise blow in the back of his neck, right between vertebrae. He's dead before he even hits the ground, an assassin undone by a far more capable killer. His lump body spills across the floor, twitching once before it lays still. Very lucky, Rail.
Indeed, a perfect roll at a most opportune time.
And that is why I love this game so much. You cannot but grin as you look around at the glowing faces of the other players. You felt bad for a split second, stealing their hard-won victory for your own. But they're just glad that you made a good strike, that you succeeded with them in your common goal. It's a delightful feeling, like you're not intruding, but are a real part of it all. As you withdraw your knife from the back of the assassin's neck, you can see that it is in fact done. The otter is dead, and there appears to be no trace of magic that is looking to change that. Comforting. And makes for a nice change.
Neve would like to search its body.
Of course, the rest of you? I'll keep a lookout for more threats. I'll have a look around his sanctum, if you don't mind. Yeah, I like to go with him. Of course, Neve, you find a coin purse on the dead assassin, but there is not a single coin in it.
Disappointing.
Instead, there is a single shard of some kind of crystal. It is a pearlescent white in color, and warm to the touch. You can only surmise that it is magical. Another pair of rolling numbers scrolls across the screen before one of them settles into gray and the other into blue. Velrond and Eli, the two of you are unable to uncover little of interest within this strange temple-like structure. However, there are a series of notches that Velrond notices in the altar. The ones that the assassin was knelt at? The very same. You trace over them with your fingertips and are able to find a sliding panel that the notches let you grip. Oh, good catch. There's some form of magical apparatus within, though precisely what kind you are as of yet unable to determine.
I will take the shard and go to join them.
Yeah, me too, I guess. Of course, of course. Eli, you recognize the apparatus instantly. It's something that you've used extensively before as a magister, after all. Mrs. eyes light up. Clearly he knows what's going on here. Ah, a transposer. Quaint to find such a powerful nexus of energies in such a place as this. What? Oh, pardon. I had forgotten that you were not learned in such a lofty academia as myself. Transposers are highly volatile, magically charged implements. They are able to activate a transposition field about a person or small group of persons, and via astral conduits they... Think of it like a displacer. Hey, in character if you please. Oh, sorry. It moves you from one place to another with magic.
Much easier.
An a lax descriptor if I ever heard one. Quite unbecoming. But our esteemed warrior is correct. It seems that this sanctum is able to link to another transposer somewhere else. Where? Where indeed. If we had the keystone, an artifact attuned to the transposer, we could activate it.
Neve will present the shard that she had taken from the assassin. What, this thing?
Miss grins and nods to Talmany. You definitely recognize the shard as a keystone, Eli. Why, that it is precisely. Where did you?
Took it off his body. Didn't have nothing else worth taking.
A good find, Neve. But the question is what to do with it. Use it? The other players look at you, but Bromka is grinning ear to ear. What? With no idea of what awaits us on the other side? Foolhardy. Reckless.
And it's not like we didn't do what we came here to do. Fuck's dead.
This time both Zuberi and Miss stifle chuckles. You struggle to do the same. Tomini's acting for Neve is amazing.
We could go back to his lordship right now, get our coin and go.
True, but he would doubtless ask us about what happened, and if we inform him of this, he will equally doubtless wonder why we didn't investigate further.
My arse he will. He sent us on a job. We did the job. Now he pays, and that's that.
You desperately need a premiere on how the upper reaches of society do things, my dear. I don't like it, but Eli's got a point. And I can't say that I'm not curious. Bromka shrugs. You're not in the worst shape, all things considered. Uh-oh. The goddess is encouraging us. Now we should be all worried. I'm just trying to be helpful. You smirk and shrug. I'll put my support forward for, going forward. Thank you, Rael.
Neve just wants her payment.
Zuberi growls for a moment before he shakes his head. Neve, if we are able to secure not just this assassination but also his co-conspirators, what do you think the Lord will pay then?
Neve considers this carefully for a few moments.
Oh, I bet she does.
Huh, ain't thought of that. Fine, but if you lot get me killed and I don't get paid, my spirit's gonna haunt your balls off.
That is a horrifyingly specific threat.
Mama taught me to always threaten specific like.
Clearly you were an excellent student.
I'm excellent at everything, so we going or what?
Everyone gives a nod as Bromka grins. Eli, you can see the markings on the floor by the altar that are consistent with the transposition field. You should be able to activate the altar with a shard and get there in time to catch the field. Then if everyone is ready, Eli San Rael will do so. He does so. The shard is slotted neatly into the transposer, and you jump back. A brilliant cone of light washes over the four of you as the magic of the transposer draws you away. It feels much like a displacer does, stomach dropping out from under you as a transposer conveys you through the magical currents of the world to its destination. When at last you feel the material world settle back into being around you, you are no longer in the assassin's sanctum. Instead, you now find yourselves in a glittering cathedral. A crystalline prism dangling from the ceiling reflects moonlight from the outside across the inner walls of the temple. You are in a large chamber capable of fielding a massive congregation. Script is engraved upon the walls, along with pictographs depicting of doctrine and religious mythology. And do we know what divinity is being depicted? You do not, but you do recognize the architecture as similar to that of the sanctum that you just left, albeit in stone rather than crystal. The four of you make your way forward, looking around the chamber. It's empty. There's no one else present. Well, we're here.
Wherever here is.
True. This could be any one of 100 temples. Patras is going to wander around the room, see if anything stands out. Oh, that works. Elasariel will do the same. Bromka chuckles as he nods to you. Of course. However, you do not get to do so for very long before you hear footsteps hurrying along the stone floor and coming from a nearby door. Just the one pair? As far as you can tell, yes.
Neve will arm herself.
Even against just one?
Batros was one, and he was a most formidable opponent.
You watch Zuberi wince as he nods. Velron will do the same. I won't. Not yet. I'll just wait and see who this is. I believe Eli will do the same. How base to leap to violence like this.
That it is you to say such a thing is the height of irony.
The cheetah shrugs and grins. A set of double doors swings open from the direction of the footsteps. There, a draconid, a winged lizard folk rail, in brilliant white robes trimmed with blue stumbles as he enters. A great pendant of lapis hangs from his obsidian cord around his neck, set against the backdrop of a pearlescent shell. You see similar lapis adorns his horns. His blue scales melt into the trim of his robe, with silver scales that run down from his muzzle and across his throat, his eyes bright and green and wide, look at you with fear.
Heya!
Pardon the intrusion. Who are you? He looks between Eli and Neve for a moment as he raises his arms. I'm Medrius, Tidebearer, and keeper of this temple to Alu Sali. Who are you? Travelers. Travelers.
What, we don't look it?
He does look the four of you over. Beg pardon, but you're covered in blood. And as you look at yourselves, you realize that he's right. You're not exactly cleaned up.
Sorry about that.
Yes, well, you're clearly not mere travelers. So again, I ask you, who are you? Patras. Nice to meet you. He just stares at you, Patras. What? A name doesn't mean much to me when you keep such clearly dangerous company. Why would we be dangerous?
I think it's the blood, tall boy.
Oh, right, sorry. Wait, he came in here in a hurry, right? Bromka grins as he nods to you. Oh yes, he was rushing. You were expecting someone else, weren't you? His eyes go wide as he gasps, shaking his head vigorously. Not at all. What are you thinking, Patras? I think that our assassin had that transposer here for a reason, and that when it was used, this Tidebearer was alerted. Which would make him an accomplice. I beg your pardon. What are you talking about? Assassins? Accomplices? It would rather make sense, actually. You watch as the Tidebearer takes a slow step back, as if bracing himself in expectation of you all trying something.
Worried? Going somewhere?
Worried, yes. Going somewhere, no. You killed Batros, didn't you? Sorry, Batros? You know the one that I speak of. It is pointless to play games.
I suspect that it is the name of the assassin that we were pursuing.
The one we killed. And it does seem like he knows that already. So, how do you answer? Zuberi sighs. We did not know his name. Yes, we did. I see. And with that, the Dragonid steps back from you again. Far from fleeing, he turns towards the ceremonial altar at the far end of the room and begins to make his way over to it.
Neve will follow, in case he intends to prepare some kind of attack.
Of course. Once there, though, he only starts to withdraw a stick of incense before pausing again. Am I to believe that his family too are dead? If you mean his fellow assassins, then yes. You see his free paw curl into a fist, though it relaxes a moment later. He didn't like that. They might have all been friends. Or more. With that, the Dragonid Tidebearer withdraws 4 more sticks of incense. He hesitates, glancing back at you, before he also withdraws another. Then you have come a long way and spilled a great deal of blood in the name of a poor master. Well, we knew he was aligned. Yeah, I bet Yelfons would be happy to have this guy dealt with too.
Neve at least would expect a larger reward if such was come to pass.
As you're discussing this, the Tidebearer lights the incense. Its pleasant scent fills the immediate space as he arrays the sticks and begins to weave his paws above them. I'm sorry. Thank you. That is very kind of you to say. Touchy. I mean, I would be. Were you close? It hardly matters now. It matters.
Could even save your life.
Stop. And as he says that, his paws freeze in place over the incense. He turns his head slightly, almost bringing Neve into view. I will not be threatened within my own temple. If that is all you have to offer, then I will show you out.
Yeah, good luck with that.
You hear a surprisingly deep growl come out of the dragonid in response.
Neve will take a quick step back.
Bromka and Miss chuckle. Sure. He turns back to the incense again, as his paws begin to move once more. Let me offer my prayers that their souls might find rest. They are owed that much, at least, and deserve far more besides. For the fallen, there were only 5 souls in the assassin's lair. I know. The last is for my own. I do not expect that I will survive the night. Oh, how forward-thinking of you. You look around and everyone else is just nodding. Seems like they're happy to let him carry out his prayers. For the next few minutes, you allow the tide bearers to speak his prayers. His fingers play in the smoke of the incense before, at long last, he lowers his arms to his sides and hangs his head low. So, you think me an accomplice to an assassin? Pardon, but you do seem awfully upset about their deaths, not to mention certain that you're to join them most immediately. And you seem awfully flippant about the deaths of people that you know nothing about. But you did know them, didn't you? As your companion so determined, yes, they were known to me. When he turns around, you see the scales about his eyes glisten with tears. Oh, they were definitely friends. I am sorry for your losses.
I ain't.
Neve, perhaps now isn't the...
What's it to you, Scales? You with him or not?
Neve, please, a little more tact.
This is tact.
No, it is not. And as to whether or not I am with them, I am.
See? I fucking knew it.
And I am not.
Liar.
Valron's gonna reach over and clamp her muzzle shut. Our relationship is more, I fear, than you can understand, and given your murderous impulses, I've no interest in getting into it with you. Not even if it would preserve your continued existence? My continued existence is worth very little, I fear, but you will see that soon enough. And why is that? Because the end comes. Mine, yours, and everyone in this town. I have seen it. And now, with what you have done, I fear that it is too late to stop. Gods all, what is too late to stop? Stop speaking in silly little riddles and speak plainly. He turns angrily towards Eli, and he bares his teeth. The lapis amulet he wears turns on a bright blue glow before it, and he snarls. Fade away. I'm not reaching for my weapon. Nor is Patras, not yet. You speak most eloquently. Such a shame that your intellect won't save you. We don't respond well to threats. To no threat. Just a warning.
Neve will be struggling to free herself by this point. She has most certainly taken this as a threat.
Oh, of course she has. And Valron's not gonna let her struggle too much. He let her go before he hurt her.
It is more likely that she would hurt him.
The captain laughs and nods, but there's more tension in his tone now than there was before. He's clearly feeling the pressure of the game and its situation. We were only sent after the assassin who tried to kill Yalphonse tonight. That's not you. Got no reason to wish you harm. No, but you will facilitate it nonetheless, and my temple will be the latest to fall. Will you not report back to your master and let him know what good work you have done? You watch as Maze and Zuberi exchange a quick glance. Talmany nods instantly. Of course, Neve would be good with that plan. We would need to report back, of course. And you intend not to mention me, the transposer. It would after all earn you a hefty reward.
Yeah, I was thinking about it.
I know you were. Let me ask the other question then. You know we're a danger to you, and are you going to try and stop us? Of course not. Why's that? It would be pointless. The tie-bearer folds his arms, then his pendant glows briefly once again. He taps it with a claw tip and frowns. If you attack me, I will not survive. There are 4 of you, and 1 of me.
Oh good, he can count proper.
If you go and report me, Yalphonse will send someone, maybe you all, to kill me, too. I will not survive this.
And if we don't report you?
Then I have won for myself maybe a scant few hours before it all begins and ends. My only solace will be that I will not be alive to see what happens next.
Well, that's not disturbing at all.
Either way, it will not matter to me, and it will not matter to you either.
What if you had help instead of adversaries?
Careful there, tall boy.
What's the harm in asking the question?
I've known people like him, sneaky with their words, nice and smart and good at twisting everything to make you all confused.
I don't expect that they need to work particularly hard.
Well, that's why the rest of us are here. We'll be a bit harder to confuse. Maybe.
He snorts, shaking his head. As I said, it doesn't matter now. Do whatever you like, it's all over.
You look at the other players, and they seem as curious as they are confused.
Before any of you can say anything more, you hear the sound of footsteps, many more than before, and they are growing closer. Medrius looks up and sighs as he clutches his pendant.
Expecting company?
Unfortunately. And he trails off as, through the very same doors that Medrius had entered through, come a force of armored figures. Their armor bears the insignia of House Corthalos, but this insignia glows with a soft, violent light. They number 6, and their helms keep their species from being determined. Neve, Velron, Eli, and you all recognize them as the elite soldiers of Yalphonse's personal guard. You've seen them before.
Oh, we definitely have.
And you've also seen the lion that they were escorting. Patras, he is a lion in late middle age, resplendent in a purple robe adorned with gleaming gems and delicate gold. His smile is cool and thin as he nods to you.
Well now, isn't this a pleasant surprise?
We were here to pay our respect this fine eve, but how interesting to find the 3 of you here.
We only just arrived, transposition from your assassin's lair.
The Tidebearer is silent as he turns back to his stack of incense.
And we got him, by the by. You can toss us the coin anytime now.
You speak truly? The one who dared raise their paw to me is dead?
How's the Tidebearer taking this? Oh, not well. He's gripping the altar tightly, facing away from Yalphonse. It's clear that this clinical discussion of a dead friend is affecting him pretty badly.
He is.
And this one here, working with them.
Eyes turn to Talmany as she shakes her head.
You knew that she would do this.
I guess so, but I had really rather hoped otherwise.
Working with him?
Oh, Tidebearer, I had thought that you had pledged your fealty already. My fealty, I serve a greater power than you, my lord, and no matter what you do, that will never change. And with that, the Draconoid scoffs and spits at the feet of Yalphonse. His guards bristle and reach for their weapons.
What is to happen to him?
He will be taken into custody, of course, his magic bound while we determine whom else may have been corrupted by his foul influence.
I have to say, I'm not feeling too good about this.
Is that you or Velron?
I think it's a bit of both.
I'm glad. I've done my job well.
I'm sure there's gonna be a nice bonus waiting for us for bringing this one in too, yeah?
Yalphonse chuckles as he turns towards you, Neve, and nods. You will be most richly rewarded, of course. Your fee paid and paid again for this additional service. Wait, my lord, before you go and spend so much coin on us.
What are you doing?
Something is bothering me. You mind if I poke him a bit? Miz shakes his head and Talmany shrugs. Go for it. This smells bad to me too.
May I ask what you're doing here with so many guards?
The guards are a necessity. given the attempt on my life just this very eve. Surely you're not begrudging me a fair measure of paranoia after all that I have been through? I'm not certain that he'd be out at all. I wouldn't be if someone had just tried to slit my throat. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm thinking. You can see Bromkus grinning in the dark as he watches the interplay between Zuberi and Miz. It's as good a time to get involved as any. I'd have thought a lord who'd almost died would try to stay home, where it's safe. He eyes you up, Patras, and his smile fades somewhat. Clearly he's not as interested in you as he is in your companions. And who are you, to care so much about my well-being? Just the helpful party who gave aid when it was needed, helped bringing a deadly assassin to justice. Yes, not so deadly, as it so happens, as I am all the better off for it. But you say you played a role in his demise? I am most grateful. Patras is right, though. You shouldn't be out and about, my lord, with respect. Oh, your concern is most touching. It is, however, entirely unnecessary. And with that he turns to his guards and waves them towards Medrius. Something's very wrong here. I agree.
As do I, but Neve would not care.
Of that we are well aware. I'm just starting to wonder about the chain of events, everything that's happened, and if we're on the wrong side of this, if we've been used. Just based on him being out? Well, we would not have run into him here if we were not transported from the assassin's lair. In fact, we might never have known that he was out and about this evening. It does not imply a male fearful for his life after all. Makes me think that he's got a purpose here. He wants something.
Or perhaps to eliminate something or someone.
But he doesn't know this tide bearer was a part of it, right? He'd have to be here for another reason. With his guards, Meridas said earlier that his temple would just be the latest to fall, right? Brom, can we hear anything from outside? The bear grins as a number plays across your vision. They settle a moment later into blue digits. Through the open doors you can hear something. Now that you're listening, you can hear the crackle of flames and the bustle of people. They could be in a panic, you're not sure. Inside this temple? No, outside. Troubling, Given the commotion outside, I am quite surprised to hear that. Oh, it is only a little fire. Crews are attending to it as we speak. You're not worried? I'm only worried in that this tide bearer might have fed you any number of lies, tried to turn you against me. I wouldn't waste my breath. We both know that it wouldn't do any good.
Not wrong.
Now wait a second, Neve.
No, I's done waiting. We done our job, and I want to get paid.
You may accompany us back to my manor if you wish. My guard will see to it that this traitor is dealt with. And I will feel all the more safe in the three of you protecting me on the way home, after all the good that you have done this night. Miz and Zuberi are exchanging a glance, and you can imagine why. They're clearly not sold on what the Lord is feeding them. You thinking about your options? Yeah, that this isn't right. His reason for being here is unconvincing in the extreme, yes. Zuberi growls under his breath before he nods. Valron doesn't like this at all. How's Patras feeling about all this? I mean, it's obvious that this guy was planning something. Oh, he doesn't trust Yalphonse at all, given what you all have said. Zuberi smiles and nods at you.
I am glad to hear this.
You are?
Indeed. I am not my character. Neve may be attached to Lord Yalphonse, but I recognize that there is considerable ambiguity here, enough to call him into question.
I'm afraid that you won't feel too good at all. And why would that be? Because you are not taking him. Both Yalphonse and the Tidebearers look absolutely stunned at the sudden turnaround.
Neve as well. What you doing there, big boy? We got a job to do. Better pay even.
I think something's very wrong here, and that maybe we've been on the wrong side of this whole time. I had rather started to consider the same. You would betray me? You chase my killer through the streets, slay him, and betray me over what?
Yeah, I'd sure like to know.
Let's just say that we're starting to doubt your true intentions. The Tidebearer backs up a little bit from the altar, bringing himself in line with the party, though he does keep away from Neve. Yelfonce's eyes flick to her. Surely you have not turned on me as well? Your payment awaits still, if only you do as I bid and bring me the head of the one who tried to kill me. You look at Tolmany. Before she speaks, you already know what she's going to do.
Boss, boy's right, lads. We had a job to do.
Neve, don't do this. It is more than just money. We have the numbers. You do look like you had a rough night to be sure, but know that my guards are fierce, prepared, and many. Stand with me, and you will have your pay, Neve. Stand against me, and be slain as a traitor. He smiles at you then, Patras. Oh good. And you, I do not know you, but I implore you, stand on the right side of this, ally yourself with me, and the riches I have promised your traitor's companions will be split between you and Neve. If you desire more, you need only ask it. I, in turn, only ask you to do what is right. Oh, that's a nice offer. I try. Patras, please. I know you don't know us, but... No please necessary.
Excuse me?
His story stinks. Something here isn't right. So if he wants to take in the Tidebearer, he's gonna go through me first. So noble. That is a terrible mistake, one you will not be permitted to make again. Stand against me and know you stand alone. He doesn't. And Velron will step up to protect Patras and Medrius. I think Eli Sandrael will do the same as well. We stand with him, both of them. So, I am betrayed.
Sure looks like it, don't it?
Neve?
Neve will turn and stand beside her companions.
You blink in surprise. Suberi himself seems shocked. She does?
Indeed, she has just seen an assassin, Patras, decry his reward, a reward bigger than anything Neve has ever seen, and he set it aside without hesitation to stand with people he does not know. Given this, and considering the combat already seen this evening, she is confident that her best chance for survival and future wealth lies with them, and this Tidebearer.
Damn you, Neve. It could have been all yours.
You ain't spoke nothing but lies since you came in here. You ain't got what you owe. And if I ain't bought and paid for, you ain't got me.
Foolish girl. Guards, eliminate them all. And with that, we launch once more into combat. The Tidebearer squares up with your party as Yelfonce turns to leave without his guards. They draw their weapons. I suppose he was not so concerned about his well-being after all. Looks like we made the right call.
If we survive.
Let's make sure we do that. Hear, hear. And with that said, we'll establish our turn order and begin the fight. It is brutal. The fight with the assassin and his tarantells has been bruising and left you bloodied, with your resources tapped before this fight even begins. Wait a minute. I didn't kill the tarantells. I only killed the assassin. Even having Neve on your side doesn't make things feel much better. That you still have some resources in your back pocket, however, might be enough to tip the scales in your direction. Certainly the presence of the Tidebearer seems to be a boon. Meredith proves a skillful healer. He restores your party significantly at the start of combat, giving you a better chance. Valron and Neve leap immediately into the fray to hold back Yelfonce's guards. The resources limitation hasn't hurt their martial skills nearly as much. Similarly, your assassin skills are not nearly as encumbered with your vitality restored. You join Valron and Neve as you flank the Lord's guards. Neve's knives open up devastating wounds in multiple targets, and you capitalize on their weaknesses with deadly precision. Eli's staff crackles with electric bolts that lash Yalfonsa's lackeys, staggering them for Valron's stronger blows. Even Medrius throws himself into the defense as a tidebearer draws water from the fountain about the room and uses it to batter your opponents. It even amplifies Eli's electrical attacks, causing them to jump from soaking target to target. It more than helps to balance the odds. But they are only balanced. Valron, Neve, and Patras had a hard time holding the front line against so many. Only a couple slipped through to become a problem for Eli and Medrius, but fortunately the tidebearer is able to sweep them off their feet with his hydromancy. The battle becomes a stalemate, but one where your advantages are slowly being chipped away. Medrius' power is swiftly exhausted. Eli has little left to offer. Patras and the others are flagging. It becomes clear that the battle cannot be won. Not there, and not then. Medrius bids the party to fall back, even as he knocks down the guards with waves of magic-enhanced water. It is the best ending that can be hoped for, given the circumstances. The battle concludes with no losses, but with Medrius and the party all battered once again. And your escape with Medrius, I think, is where we will leave things for today. You lean back into the couch as a wave of exhaustion and relief washes over you. It would have been a lot this game night, even if you didn't have to work your shift right after this without sleep. And thinking about that, you find yourself wondering if you really should have just not done this for your own sake. Rail? You with us? You blink and look up to see all the players looking at you expectantly. Did you zone out entirely? Sorry, yeah, I'm here. We're not boring you, are we? No, nothing like that. Just, sorry. What did you say? Mine wandered off a bit there at the end. Bromka chuckles as he shakes his head. No, it's fine. I was just asking what you thought of the game night. Sure, I can't wait to do it again. Just for you, Bromka. Bromka's eyes light up as he grins back at you. That is precisely the answer that I was hoping for. Watch out, Rail. He'll be insufferable for the next couple of weeks thanks to that. I think I'll manage. I hope so. Oh, this is so great. The game is really built for 4 players, so I'm glad that you want to play with us more.
Especially since I am not always able to, due to constraints beyond my control.
None of us blame you for that, Tolmany.
I did not mean to imply that you did.
We know. You're quite alright. We'll have to talk more about what you want though, Rail. If you want to keep playing Patras, or maybe come up with another character. Looking forward to it. I'll make sure that I'm better prepared for the next game night, don't you worry. And so, at that end of these sessions, I like to go around and ask how everyone felt about the game, what all happened, and there was a lot that happened tonight. You joined us at the most fun time, Rail. I don't know that I did all that much, really. Well, we did take down the assassin, and promptly turned on Yalfons to help the people who tried to kill him. Yeah, and we had to run away. We didn't really get an ending here. To be fair, most of these sessions don't have a defined ending.
He is not incorrect. Most sessions are deliberately left with the narrative unfulfilled, to excite us for the next one.
It is a rather common narrative technique in my experience. Bromka shrugs and smiles wide. But you are satisfied with the session, Rail? Yeah, absolutely. I do think that. The alarms cut you off, blaring from around the rec room. Miz leaps up in surprise, and Zuberi stands a moment later. Oba?
Proximity alert. Scanners have detected a combat vessel on approach.
Get everyone on station.
Message going out now.
You frown at Zuberi as he waves for everyone to follow. Bridge, everyone. You nod as you scramble up and off the couch. So much for decompressing after game night. Zuberi leads the run up the main corridor. Miz is at your side with Tolmany and Bromka at your back. The door ahead is already open for you, as if Oba was waiting for you, and Will standing by it, confused and worried by the summons. What's going? Stay here, Anwell. The Martin sputters, but falls silent as you follow the others onto the bridge. Kalia, wearing her much more casual outfit, is already present and rising from the command chair as soon as the rest of you arrive. We've got company. To weapons, rail, comms, everyone else to stations. You move just as quickly and quietly as Kalia. You both drop into your respective seats as Ms., Brom, and Talmany do the same. The bridge is fully staffed. Well, fully staffed plus... and well. Ugh. Ms., what do we have? Scanner's running now, sir. You hold your breath as you watch the cheetah work. A glance out to the stars doesn't show the ships, but that doesn't mean that they're not there. You turn back to Ms. as the cheetah growls. Scans confirmed. Frigate analog. Flistren design. Looks like Anwell's pirates are back. Oh, stars. Do we have a designation? Ms. rolls his eyes. Transponder is broadcasting as a nightmare. Talmany, do we have a hyperlaunch vector? The Sibes voice comes through the same audio system that Oba uses, rather than her muzzle. Processing now. Your console blinks for attention, and you frown at it as the captain continues. Kalia, bring our weapons online, all of them. Brom, be ready for evasive maneuvers. Already on it. Full deployment on the way. Threat capacity at full. Inertial compensators are maxed. Sir? You look up as all eyes on the bridge turn to you. We're being hailed. Silence. Silence punctuated by the ticking of your console as it awaits an open comm connection. Well, this is the first time pirates have wanted to talk to me. But do you want to talk to them? That depends. You glance back at Anwell. The Martin has edged his way further onto the bridge in the meantime, still frightened, much less confused now. I doubt they said much to Anwell. And that just makes this more interesting. Ms? Still just the one contact. Holding steady 24 out by 037, neg-2 off the plane. But that's out most of our energy weapon range. Fleet strengths don't run kinetics. You can only shrug as you look down at the display. Star pirates aren't exactly your area of expertise. You look up at Zuberi as the captain scowls at his command systems. It's not a position that you envy him being in. Oba, encrypt the link. Full firewall protocols just in case they try to jack the connection. I'm hurt that you thought that I hadn't already done it. That draws a smirk across the captain's face as he nods to you. Rail, open a channel. Route through Oba's protocols and give me forward projectors. You nod as your fingers dart across your controls to carry out his orders. Connection established. Projectors coming online. Now. From the floor and the ceiling, directly in front of the command chair, comes a shimmering column of blue light. It settles a moment later as the projectors warm up and the light coalesces into a person. It shimmers for a second as it settles into the image of a femme deer, paws clasped behind her. Her neatly trimmed uniform looks reminiscent of those worn by the ASF officers. The epaulets bearing rank insignias are gone, replaced with one that presents an embroidered version of the White Fang sigil. No one who travels a black doesn't know what that means. You watch on with interest as she bows her head in greeting to Zuberi. Clearly, she can see him. Good day, Captain, and thank you for responding to my transmission. It's ever so nice to meet you. I am Lyda, a captain of the White Fangs. Her voice is smooth and rich like honey, combined with her elegant posture and appearance. You'd be hard-pressed to think you were talking to a pirate. Maybe that's the point. You'll forgive me if I reserve my judgment on just how nice it is. Of course. You do, after all, have a great number of rather powerful weapons deployed, don't you? Most impressive. I am almost jealous. I trust your sensor officer has confirmed that my own offensive systems are powered down. If not, would they mind? Zuberi frowns as he turns to the side. Ms. is wearing an almost identical frown before he nods, and the captain returns his gaze to the transmission. So I see. You have my attention. Lyda's holographic image smiles at him, bowing her head respectfully once more. May I know who I have the pleasure of addressing? With respect, no. State your business. That widens the smile on her muzzle. So cold. Very well. The previous captain of this vessel encountered a Signer Solutions A-Tripper class carrier ship in this region of fringe space a few days ago while on a hunt. Unfortunately, he failed in his task. One ought never send a brute to engage in such delicate work as asset retrieval. No. You watch Zuberi's eyes narrow. No one would be stupid enough to fly an A-Tripper out this far. They'd never make it back home alive. I hardly think that was our quarry's intention. But such is the nature of things. I don't suppose that you've encountered any such vessels in your own travels? Not sure I can help you, I'm afraid. I think that I'd notice an A-Tripper on the fringe if it crossed my path. I'm sure you would. Disappointing. The holodeer glances around, and you find yourself wondering at the scope of the holofield. Can she see the whole bridge? It remains unclear as her eyes zero back in on Zuberi after a moment. You know, it's the funniest thing. One of our scouts thought that they caught sight of an exploration vessel. They believed it went to ground on an ice ball, just one standard day ago. This event itself was roughly a standard day after the mishap with our quarry. Curious timing, wouldn't you agree? Very curious. Don't know what that's got to do with me or my ship. Ah yes, your ship. Let me see. She glances aside again as she smiles. The Void Dreamer, according to my information. Astrogation Guild registered exploration vessel, Exultant 2. She clicks her tongue as Zuberi growls under his breath. You have exquisite taste, Captain. Zuberi, isn't it? Yes, my compliments. I adore the name. The captain's jaws tense as his ears go flat. He doesn't seem to like that she knows the name at all. Thanks. Let me be perfectly clear, Captain. Scans of your vessel show very impressive systems. I'll be the first to admit that I wish that I was here for you. Such a prize. Your ship is most likely a match for my own, but that is not a scenario that I care to test. I assure you that an ordinary standard outfit fleece-trained frigate this is not. Still, I would quite prefer that this is not to come to blows, if at all possible. Good. I'd like that myself. So, I would propose a simple exchange instead, if you'd not mind. He taps at his control console before he turns to Tolmany. Hyperlaunch?
Still calculating. Estimating 5 minutes.
He turns back to Lyda and taps at his console again. I try to avoid making deals with pirates, if I can help it. What's my incentive to work with you? Lyda's smile widens. No threats, if that happens to be your concern. If I wanted to threaten you, I'd be on approach with my own weapons deployed. Exultant too. That is a fine design. Expensive design too. It must be painfully costly to operate. I manage just fine. I mean no offense, of course. Just that I recognize the operating expenses of such things. Logistics are something of a hobby of mine. I can only imagine. She chuckles. My quarry comes with a sizable bounty. I am willing to offer you a 50% share up front, if you happen to have it on board. 20 if you only provide me with actionable intel regarding its whereabouts. The captain strokes his chin. You doubt that he's actually considering it, but rather buying time for Tolmany's calculations. That sounds like a very generous offer. You seem pretty confident that we know something that you don't. Her laugh is light and airy as she flicks a strand of her hair back over her shoulder. I am no brute beast, I assure you. Yes, I am a pirate captain, but that's no reason not to show a certain degree of respect. Besides which, you're an AG exploration ship, dear. If anyone's going to have seen my elusive prey, who better to help me correct my predecessor's egregious mistake? Her smile slips slightly, chilling several degrees as she stares Zuberi down. That, and I can track it where said predecessor could not, and I have been trying to do so for some time now, so I would rather prefer no further games, if you please. That is a troubling assertion if it's true. Generous offers tend not to last long. And who's to say we're playing games right now? She sighs, as if tired, or perhaps bored. You don't know what you're up against, Captain. I assure you, this is the most gentle way that this can go. If you intend to force this confrontation to come to blows, I assure you that it will not end the way you think. A fleeced and frigate against what we've got. I think that if it comes to blows, I'll take my chances. Most unwise. But you don't know what I know, so I can't expect you to make the smart decision. If it was such a smart decision, you wouldn't have offered a peaceful and generous share of the spoils for turning whatever this quarry is over to you. You smirk as you watch as the pirate captain's hollow stiffens slightly. Let me tell you what I think is going on here, if you'll permit me. Please, take your time. I'm in no hurry. That steals a smile from your face. Again, she's not in a rush. She has to know that you're calculating an escape jump. She's a pirate, and her prey is getting away every second that she doesn't press the attack. What in the burning stars is she waiting for? I think you're very confident, which, if your scanners are working right, you really shouldn't be at all. You're absolutely sure that you can take us in a fight. I clearly think our chances are better than you do. But I think you don't want to risk it, since if you open up on us, you'll lose a potential tool to find this quarry of yours. You know we can make this a lot harder than you like. Her expression is slowly neutralizing, as though the warmth is gradually fading from the deer. No. I think you realize that if it comes to blows, we can not only get away from you a lot easier than you can get after us, but that the odds of you actually boarding us are slim to none. You blow us out of the sky, and you don't get what you want, and you're not even sure that you can do that, so soft touch. How am I doing so far? Lydia's smile returns, but thinner and crueler than before. I'd love to offer you a job, but I think I know how you'd answer. A pity. If you know that, why bother with a soft sell? Why not just power your weapons, launch any fighters or drones that you've got, and open up on us? Because I'm not in a hurry. My client is, of course. But he can wait as long as he needs to, so long as I secure the result he expects. I can do as I see fit. Zuberi smirks at that. And since when does a powerful white fang captain like you let yourself get pushed around by a needy client? Precisely. I am far from as rushed as he would like me to be. But that is for him to deal with. Results are what matters, and I deliver results. What I have to deal with is the fact that I took a job. I see my jobs through, Captain. I haven't failed yet, and I hardly intend to start now. So, we can do this the gentle way, or we can do it rough. But I will have my prey. The choice of how, however, remains yours. Yes, it does. The wolf lifts his head and shakes it. I'm sorry, but I really can't help you. The deer looks confused by the refusal. And here I thought we were really through with games. We are. I told you that I can track my prey. It's no colorful affection, I assure you. I know it's a board. Please, just turn over the simulants, Captain. Let us not resort to weapon fire. Both you and the captain freeze up. You can see all around the bridge that the rest of the crew is doing the same. Zuberi glances over at Kalia, who can only meet his stare with an equal degree of confusion. Have you all missed something? Have Zuberi and Lydia been talking about different things this whole time? No, oh my god, it's been obvious this entire time. I'm sorry? If you think I'm sending you Oba, you're definitely got another thing coming. The deer perks an eyebrow. She folds her arms and then, after a moment, shakes her head. Oba? What a stupid name. Don't play dumb with me now. You're both far smarter than that. I don't want your simulant. I want my simulant. I believe it calls itself Anvil. To be continued. So it finally comes to light that Anwell is not a living, breathing, mortal flesh pile thingy. That he is sort of like a simulant with, if this isn't the norm in this universe, he is a simulant with, I guess, organic material on top. And it would explain why he was able to basically come back to life after what happened to him in his little ship. And then, you know, in the medical pod, he basically healed a little too quickly. And even Bromka mentioned, like, hey, wait a minute, like, you're unusually okay for what happened to you. So this is a little concerning. So, like, finally makes sense, I guess. And of course, there was one more thing that he was hiding, which is, yeah, you're not real. Or you're not real in the sense that you're not like the rest of us. You're more like Oba. And to a lesser degree, like, kind of Tolmany. Although Tolmany, I think, started being more flesh and blood and then sort of turned more cyborgy. And Oba is basically just a simulant. But yeah. So since I'm gonna have to cut this up a little, I'm just gonna stick to the later part of the update, so yeah. I'm wondering if they're gonna have to get into a battle, because obviously you have to get away now. The smartest course of action would be like, yeah, sure, yeah, take your simulant. We don't fucking want him in here anyways. If I get the chance, I will give him up. So technically the next chapter was already written, so like if it's already there, if the chance is there for whoever happens to subscribe to their Patreon, you might as well tell me now, because I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna fucking get rid of him. If not, then I guess whatever, I'll still have to deal with him. But yeah, like if we don't give him up, we're gonna have to get into a fight. Which, like, why? Why do you want to keep him so badly, Zuberi? He's so annoying. Can you imagine you would have got a blowjob from a robot? Ugh. Anyways, what else? I'm tired. I sat down reading this and it's 3 hours, 37 minutes in counting, so I'm a little tired, and it's 11, it's almost midnight. I basically read this as soon as I found out that it was released. Which means that I ended up skipping Polar Night, which I'm gonna have to read after this. Well, after I'm done editing this. But yeah, like, there really is no other choice. You kind of have to get rid of him, or you're gonna have to get into a fight and hope that you can escape. And I don't know if Zuberi is that good at bluffing, because I don't believe him that they can get away. But like, there's more to the story, so I guess, you know, there's technically, what, like 8 chapters already, but like the 5th one is the one that's already on Patreon, and then like, yeah. Oh, that means that the story's kind of long. Ugh. I say ugh because, oh, so much to read. This Void Dreaming packs a lot into their updates. Ugh. But I had to keep reading. Oh, there was something that I wanted to point out that, oh, the The whole D&D thing. I snuck my way in there and only killed the assassin. Why does it say that I killed a whole bunch of people? Huh? Continuity error much? Like, yeah, like, I only killed one person and I made sure to just sneak in, and it still said like, oh, you're covered in blood and you're all beaten and bruised and whatnot. Like, no, I'm not. I literally avoided the most confrontation possible. Maybe that was just like a little scripting error where it assumed that you were gonna have to fight people. Anyways, yeah, so that kind of irked me a little. Well, not really much to say. I mean, like, yeah, we're gonna have to fight. Unfortunately, can't be sneaky with this, I guess. I can't roll a nat 20 and like just pile it away. Anyways, but yeah, so what are your thoughts so far? Write it down in the comments, and thank you all for watching / listening. If you would like to play Void Dreaming yourself, you can do so by going down to the link in the description, which should have a direct link for the itch.io page where you can download and play the game yourself. If you'd like to support the project, you can become a Patreon, and it gives you earlier access to builds of Void Dreaming. Like I said, build 5 is already up, I think, for Patreons, and I don't really recall how they do it, but I think that they do give you access, or like they show you the works in progress of the other builds or something. I don't know, I forgot. I'm tired. I just want to end this. I just want to close it out right now. But yeah, like, subscribe if you like Void Dreaming. Become a channel member if you want to, help support the channel and help support me and tell me that I'm doing a good job. Give me money on a monthly basis. And I'll give you videos on an earlier basis. Or you could support through Ko-fi. That's also there, It is appreciated. Or you could, do Throne. And I just saw that somebody donated a lot to Throne, and I am very grateful. I don't know how to tell you this, but unfortunately the plush is no longer available. So I don't know what I'm gonna do with that money, because Throne is going like, hey, we can't buy this, so here, credit, which you could use on some other stuff on your wish list or whatever. So I guess I'm gonna have to disperse it around some of the other items. But thank you. I think because the item wasn't available, it kind of bugged out, and it's not telling me who did it, so I can't thank you personally, but like thank you to the person. Yeah. What else? I guess that's it for now, and I'll see you guys in the next video. I'm tired. I'm gonna go to sleep now. Bye.